If you've ever wondered how to get production like this, or this, then I'm going to show you guys how you can use these production elements to write a Sleep Token inspired track. All right, so I'm going to play this song without any post-production elements, and then I'm going to bring all of them back in just to show you guys how much it can enforce your song. All right, now let's hear this track with all the post-production elements. All right, so I'm going to break down how I started this track, and I started by bringing in a loop from the Cult Essentials pack. I believe that it was on the Song Starters, and it was the one called It Begins. It's in G sharp minor at 160 BPM. So each folder in this pack has a full stem of all of the individual instruments, or it has the full loop in one wave file. So you can mix in each aspect yourself. All right, so I brought in that loop and started with this at 160 BPM. So let's hear that. And since we're on the topic of Sleep Token, I tried to write these drums to the best of my ability to be kind of like 2 from Sleep Token. So there are a lot of ghost notes, a lot of snare sounds without the wires, and a lot of hi-hat articulations and so forth. We just got the new Modern and Massive 2 drum VST from Get Good Drums. So I know that Nolly has worked with Sleep Token before, so I wanted to try to dial in a drum sound with their new library. So let's go ahead and listen to the drums and this loop together, just to kind of get the vibe of how I started everything off. So yeah, a lot of articulations, a lot of subtle velocity adjustments. Another thing that Sleep Token is generally known for is their atmospheric sounds. So in the Cult Essentials pack, we do have some atmospheres in there. If you're trying to write in that dark, ethereal tone, we're going to look into these ambience layers. So I use these 2 textures in this specific folder here. One's called They're Here, one's called When We Were Made. So let's hear those 2 together. Definitely has that haunting sound that I'm looking for when trying to approach a song like a Sleep Token inspired track. All right, so I used another texture layer called Digital Waves. Let's hear that. Yeah, it sounds like a granular ocean or something. I just, thought it was really cool for this particular song. Another honorable mention too, something that I use all the time that's going to be in the Metal Essentials Volume 2 pack is this Tom Crusher Impact. It just sounds awesome. It sounds huge. For any part that you're going to flam toms at the end of, it sounds great. So let's go ahead and listen to that. And let's listen to it with the drum part as well. Yeah, so they just blend really well together. Incorporating loops in your productions too can really fill out the mid-range and the synth space that you might need for certain parts. And I used this fuzzy synth start as like a song starter, verse starter approach. And I just imported it into the session. I noticed it was the same BPM as my current session. So I brought it in and notice it's in E. So in Cubase, there is a transpose feature. So all I had to do was transpose it up 4 semitones, and it was in my key of G sharp minor. So I'm going to play the loop by itself, and then afterwards I'm going to play the loop alongside everything else in the song. So a lot of times when programming drums, you can stack percussion elements on top to widen everything. And so in addition to these drum parts that I programmed, I also wanted other percussive elements. I brought these in from the Cult Essentials pack. I'm going to play this percussion sample from the pack, and then I'm going to play it with the drums to show you guys. I like that it has this widening effect. Now I'm going to play this percussion loop on top of the MIDI drums. We also have some synth one-shots in the Cult Essentials pack, and I really like this one called Hollow Warped Bell. And I actually imported it into Serum and then programmed a part with that. And it kind of sounds like a bell. It kind of sounds like a piano. I know that Sleep Token, their productions are full of pianos, bells, atmospheric stuff. So what I did is I went to the One Shots synth folder, found the Hollow Warped Bell, and I'm actually going to do that right now. So I'm going to turn off this oscillator, just bring in another one just to show you guys. All right, so I'm going to bring in this hollow warped bell sound, and we're going to import it into Serum 2, and I want to import it into spectral mode. And it should sound like that off the rip. I'm going to try to audition and play it into the song. There's some really great lead sounds in these one-shot synth samples. I want to encourage you guys to use these one-shot samples and load them into whichever VST is your favorite. And I want to encourage you guys to create with these because it's really fun. I'm going to solo all the post-production elements just to show you guys how this can build a core song for you. So all it took to get here was just experimenting with all these textures, impacts, loops, percussion, etc. And then I just tracked guitar and programmed some MIDI bass, and that's how we got here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next week.